No, 2222, or to get your loan started, visit them online at myspecialmortgage.com. That's myspecialmortgage.com.
Revolutionizing the way people treat people in business. The Experience Pros, America's home for positive business talk.
Hey, gang, welcome back to the Experience Pros radio show.
Music. You have the best music.
You know,
it is really cool.
Super props and kudos to our producer, Chad, who selects all that music and makes sure that the show is going out over the air and everything. He's a great guy, and he's got some good stuff going on, huh?
Well, and what you don't realize when you're just watching this, right? You hear the Experience Pros music,
yeah.
But when you're here in the studio, you have like really some other music coming through.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's all blended together, and it all goes out over the air. And it's the good news is he's doing all of that so that I don't have to worry about any of it. That's Chad.
That's Chad.
Yep. He's our producer, and
hey, Chad.
He's a rock star.
He is a rock star.
All right. So in our last segment, as we were talking to you, as we were talking about the issue of marijuana and its legality and or not, yeah. And you said something that caught my attention, which ties it back to the first segment that we had, talking about how to manage through chaos. And chaos happens when we have somebody come into either a workplace or a place of worship, as the case was last weekend, with the intent to do harm. And, you know, I gave a little bit of my background. I created this anti-bullying assembly when I was younger, and we launched that campaign into the country 2 weeks after Columbine High School. They say timing is everything, and that timing just kind of catapulted us to the forefront. And for the next 28 school shootings around the country, I was called in to come in and kind of help pick up pieces with the young people in the various schools, high schools, colleges, elementary programs, and so on. In light of that, I want to talk a little bit about something you said. You said we got to be aware of the behaviors that people exhibit, and to be able to have an open-minded awareness without judgment, but with certainly looking for some keystones or some hallmark behaviors that would indicate that maybe some trouble is coming and maybe we can cut it off at the pass with some kind of intervention. And I don't know what that looks like. And in your world with HR, things sometimes escalate in a corporate environment, right?
Right. And I think that, I'll leave it definitely to the professionals to figure out all these other different situations that are way beyond that. But as far as the workplace goes, you can really watch your coworkers' behaviors. If you're a manager, your employees' behaviors. If you're an employee, your manager's behaviors, your leadership staff behaviors, because things do change. That has been my experience when I am in the workplace, right?
Right.
And I've worked with enough people that have gone through enough difficulties in their life that there are certain things that you do need to watch for. And that is, one, as an organization, keep an open mind as far as how you can promote discussion. I had a situation where one of our employees was actually murdered in a domestic violence situation.
Oh my.
And so we started, what that prompted though is that nobody saw that, right? Some of the close friends knew about it. And the only reason I can talk about this is because her family has been very open about us raising money through a fund that we had in our workplace.
Okay.
And we did a lot of studying about it. And we really, really, really promoted getting help and talking with others. And not necessarily could they leave the domestic violence situation, but they knew that when they were at work, they could openly talk about their challenges. They could openly let people know the dangers that they felt. And it was a huge shift to the organization to do that. And I see that happening with other situations, whether it be someone is depressed. People don't want to talk about that, right? And you need to be able to have that workplace where you spend 40 hours or more a week with someone that you can actually confide in. and the difficulties that you're going through. At least get some help if you can't get professional help, at least rely on your friends and your people that you work with and let them know what's going on so that maybe they can guide you in a different way.
And I am sure that greater minds than both of ours.
Right. I'm sure of that.
Right. They have gone through so many different things. I just pulled up some of the things. The Huffington Post had an article back in 2012.
Right.
All right. So just put this in perspective. We're talking 5 years ago. That it was right after the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting.
Right.
And they were talking about the psychologists that created profiles of mass shooters. And there are a lot of common themes to a lot of it. And, one of the reasons I mentioned the bullying assemblies is because we find that many of the people who decide for whatever reason, and folks, I'm not trying to solve the world's problems here. I wish we could. I wish there was something we could snap my fingers and just say, let's all join hands and sing Kumbaya.
But it's always better to be proactive with someone and try. And
to find the way to talk it out, right, Ann?
Right. And find a way, because what's happening now is beyond anyone's imagination, right? It's awful. But it's happening at very smaller levels within the workplace. And sometimes that's actually turning into violence in the workplace.
Well, and we can even we can tie this right back to the issue of suicide as well. And how I know that is because how many times, and I can tell you this, 6 times in the last 2.5 years for Angel and I, somebody that we knew very well, has committed suicide.
Right.
And the thread that goes along through that whole thing is, oh my gosh, we didn't know. We had no idea that was going on. Were the signs there? Maybe. But
sometimes in hindsight, you can see that.
Sometimes, but there's other times I sit there saying, I'm scratching my head going, I could give you 10,000 reasons why he wouldn't do this.
Right.
And one reason why he did. And the one reason is beyond explanation.
Right. I would say if an employer wants to do something and have an environment which people can come forward, that they're having problems, right? Yeah. The second thing is connect yourself with employee assistance program. It's called an EAP.
Okay.
They're very inexpensive benefits for employers to offer. And it allows the employees somewhere to go confidentially and get help, whether it be for suicidal thoughts.
Do you find that it's truly confidential?
It's truly confidential. I know.
All right.
Because I got the bill. I mean, you don't know who went.
All right.
Yeah. It's confidential.
Don't go anywhere. We've got Ann Hogan with us. Ann Hogan Consulting, an HR specialist. That's human resources. We will be back after the top of the hour news with more positive business talk. This is informative, Ann. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Eric.
All right.
This is very nice.
Back after these messages.
You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, America's home for positive business talk. This